So today our concept is how to read the non-standard data. Okay. So we'll just revise this thing. So how many data types we have in SAS? We have two different data types, right? One is character data type and the other one is numeric data type. So we know how to read the character data type. So in character data type, generally it can contain everything like letters, numbers, special characters, including the blank spaces. And we have seen how to read that kind of data, right? And coming to the numeric data type. So in numeric data type, we have two different types again. One is standard numeric data and the other one is non-standard numeric data. So coming to the standard numeric data, we have seen how to read the standard numeric data, right? So it's standard numeric data is nothing but it will contain only numbers and decimals, and we have seen how to read that data in the previous session. Now coming to the non-standard numeric data. So in this non-standard numeric data, so we have classified this date, time, and sometimes amount, like by the value that by the data value that in what form that they have provided, based on that sometimes amount values. These three comes under the non-standard numeric data. So example of date is nothing but suppose, so in date, like we have so many forms, in so many forms we can represent the date, right? Like see, so if you take like 23rd December 2012, you can represent like this. And also you can represent like 23/12/2012. Also you can represent like this, correct? And you can also represent like 23 December 2012. So there are like so many forms, no, in order to represent a date. These are like only least number, but we have like so many forms to represent a date. Now, so if our date is present in any of the forms, how to read that date? Okay, how or else how to make it understandable to SAS? Okay, that is the one that we'll be seeing today. How to read the non-standard data per date. Coming to the time, anyways, for time we have like only two forms. Suppose like 23 hours, if you want to mention, you can mention like this, or you can mention like this, right? 11 p.m. These are the only two methods to represent the time. Coming to the amount, so amount also we can represent like this, 23,000, okay, or we can also represent like $23,000, right? Either like, so SAS will accept only two things per amount. One is comma and the other one is dollar. Okay. So for currency, we might have like so many other symbols as well for representing their currency, but it will accept only either dollar or the comma. That's it. So amount. Now, how first initially we'll start how to read the non-standard data, that is date, and then following time, and then following both date and time combination, and then following amount. Okay, because we can have both date and time combination also, no? So first date, next time, next date and time, date plus time combination, next amount. Starting with date. So we'll see in how many forms first we can represent the date. Okay, so like this. Suppose say if our date is represented like this in the data, okay. Now how to make this date understandable to SAS? Because SAS, so if you declare it as a character data type, definitely it will take it, right? Because In a character data, it can contain letters, numbers, and special characters, everything. But if you consider date, this value as a character data, can you perform any number of calculations? You can't do any calculation, right? It is just the information, that's it. But you cannot do any kind of calculation. So in order to do the calculation, you should consider it as a numeric data type, or else you should consider it as a numeric value. But a numeric value should contain only numbers and decimals, but not this kind of special characters or any characters like this, letters like this. So now in order to read this kind of values, okay, this kind of values to read as a numeric value, we have to make use of one statement, which is called as informat statement. Okay. So coming to this informat statement, what this informat statement will do is it will non-standard data into convert non-standard data into standard data. This informat statement we have to make use of, so that it will convert this non-standard numeric data into a standard numeric value. Now the next one is coming to this format statement. What this format statement will do is it will convert again standard data into non-standard data. Okay, it will convert standard data into non-standard data. So you might ask, like, after converting the non-standard data into pure numeric data, why to convert it back? So once you convert, so suppose say you are converting this into a pure numeric data as in complete numbers. Okay, so but anyone will understand, like when you are doing the reporting, okay, when you are generating an output and giving to the client, will that client understand that what the number is exactly? No, right? As a SAS programmers, we'll understand what the number is. But when you are giving the same report to the client, he might not understand what that number is, correct, right? So if it is again in the date form, if it is again back into the same form, then he will understand, okay, this is the date. So because of that reason, so after our calculations are done, again we have to restore it back to the original form. Okay. So for that thing, we make use of the format statement. Clear? Hello?
Yes, Pavani.
Yes.
Hello? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now what format and what informat functions we have to make use of? Okay. So that this part we have to remember. Okay. Now, suppose say in our data, if the date is present like this, okay. So here this is what date, right? Which is nothing but DD. Okay. This is what month. So and this is what year. So YY. So when our date is represented in the input or in the file, in the data that what we have or in the data that what we receive, if our date is present like this, then you have to make use of the informat statement to convert this value into a numeric value. And what function that you have to use means you have to make use of this function DDMMYY. Okay. What is this 10 means? 10 is nothing but the complete width 1, 2, 3, including the special characters like spaces, comma, or whatever it is. Okay. Slashes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 10. Why here dot means since it is a function, no? So we have to keep dot. DDMMYY 10 dot. So in the input, if our data is represented like this, in any of these date forms, then you have to make use of this informat statement. Okay. If it is present like this is what? Month, date, and year, right? So MMDDYY. 10 is nothing but the width. Okay. So if they are giving you year first, month, and date, then make use of the function called YYMMDD. Okay. So like that. Next, if our date is represented like this, okay, in this form, in the data that what we receive or we have, then make use of this informat function, date 9 dot. 9 is nothing but the width, okay, date 9 dot. If it is like this, then use date 11 dot. 11 is nothing but the width. Here they have included 2 hyphens, right? So in total, generally 9 characters, extra this 2 hyphens. So 11 characters, okay, or 11 values like this, date 7 dot. So if you have only month and year, then use only MONYY. Okay, month and year. And here this is nothing but the different weights. Okay, so like similarly. Now coming to the format statement and coming to the format functions. Now, it is not necessary that in the Informat statement, whatever functions that you have used, you have to make use of the same functions in the format statement. Okay, it is not necessary. Suppose say in the input, that in the data that what we have received, the date is present in this form. Okay, but in the output that what you are generating, okay, you want the date to be presented like this. The same date can be represented like this, no? In the input we have received, the date is present like this, but in the output that what we are generating and what we have to submit to the client, the date should be represented like this. Okay, then you can make use of this Informat function. Okay, so since here we have both week and the date, we are saying week date. Okay, so here it's like in the description, complete description of the date, you say like word date. Okay, here also it is complete description only, but here we say like word date only. Date instead of E we keep X because there should be some change, you know, from here to here. Now coming to this 20 dot. Okay, so here I have given the length as 20 dot, but it can be varied from 18 to 36 characters. Okay, so in between 18 to 36 numbers, you can give any number. Okay. Now let us take here a small example. Um, okay. So here what we are doing is we are creating a data set called meeting date with variables region, meeting date and announcement date. Okay. So in cards we are keeping we have this data values. So this is one observation. So we have 4 observations. In East region, the meeting is going to happen on this date and they have announced that meeting is going to, so and the, yeah, and when the meeting is going to happen, they are going to announce on this particular date officially. Okay. So this data is about that. Now, so if you read this data, if you run this program, will SAS be able to read this data? Definitely not. For region, it will read correctly, but for meeting date, announcement date, it will not read because we declared this as the numeric data types and we have some characters here, right? So it definitely will not read the correct value. See, missing values. Now what we have to do? Which statement we have to use? To convert non-standard data to standard data, Informat statement. So where do you use the Informat statement? After input statement. Right here, Informat. Okay, Informat. Okay. To which variable? To meeting date, right? So meeting date. But what is the Informat function that we have to use? Here the date is present in which form? In this form, right? This is nothing but what is the Informat statement, that function we have to make use of? Date 9 dot. Okay. So after meeting date, right here, date 9 dot. Okay. And now, what is the next one? Announcement date. Correct? Announcement date. Announcement date is also present in date 9 dot, right? So write give here announcement. After announcement date also date 9 dot. Okay. Now we run this program. Definitely it will convert this non-standard raw data into numeric value. See? Okay. So now if you want to perform any calculation, since it is a number, you can calculate, right? So if you want to do plus, or if you want to do minus, or if you want to do division, multiplication, whatever calculation that you want, you can do it, right? Now, so here the primary thing that what we should know is what are these numbers, from how it has converted the date into a number, like what is the background process that it is doing. Okay. In order to know that, here we have a fixed SAS date, okay, which we call 1st January 1960. 1st January 1960 is called as a fixed SAS date. Okay. Now, this number is nothing but, what is, Yeah, here this number. So if you observe, if you take this first observation, okay, take the first observation here. Is 3rd December 1999 and here 19th October 1999, correct? So here East, so this 3rd December 1999 got converted to 14,581, right? In 19th October 1999, because East meeting date and announcement date, okay, got converted to 14,536, right? Converted to 14,536. Now, how it converted this date into this number means this number is nothing but, okay, 14,581. It is nothing but the number of days, okay, between 1st January 1960 to 3rd December 1999. Clear? It is the number of days between these two dates. Okay, this 14,536. Okay, 14,536. It is also same. Okay, number of days between 1st January 1960 to the specified date. What is the specified date? 19th October 1999. Clear?
Yes.
Clear, no? Now, if you, since it is calculating this number using the same reference, 1st January 1960, now if you calculate the difference between these two numbers, 14,581 or 14,536, now it will give you the number of days between these two dates. Hello?
Yes.
Clear, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You're following.
since it is calculating this number using the same reference, okay, for both the dates. For both these dates, it is calculating the difference, this number based in the same reference. So if you calculate the number of difference between these two, it will give you the number of days between these two dates. Okay. So this is how we convert the non-standard data into standard data, and whatever calculations that we want to perform, we'll do. Okay. Now, how do we calculate this difference means? Okay. There is a function in SAS which is called as intake function. Okay. Intake function. Generally, we use this function to calculate the difference between two dates or two times or two date and time values. Okay. So which we will be discussing while we are discussing the numeric functions. Okay. But do remember this concept, date and time concept. This is very important concept. Okay. So in what interval that we want to calculate the difference? Like suppose if you want to calculate the difference in days, okay, number of days between these two values, or number of years, okay, or number of months, or number of quarters, or number of semi-years, okay. So in whatever interval that we want to calculate the difference, in that interval we can calculate the difference, okay. Now, the next thing is, here we have converted this date into the numeric form, right? Okay, so only numbers. We now we know like what this number is, correct? This number is nothing but the difference between 1st January 1960 to the specified date. We know that as a SAS programmer. But so anyone outside the industry, will they know like what this number is? No, right? No one will understand that number. So for our reporting purpose, when we are generating the reports, okay, what we have to do, we have to again restore it back to the same form. Then only anyone can understand, right? Now, so right here, format, okay, meeting date. So if you want to again represent in the same form, okay, in the same form, date 9 dot form, right here date 9 dot. But if you want to represent in any other date form, you can make use of that Informat function, okay. See here. So here I have used the date 9 dot. Okay. Suppose say you want to represent like this, week date, complete one. Okay. Then you can make use of this function, week date Length is up to you. Okay, whatever length that you want to assign, you can assign. Okay, 20. In between 18 to 36, you can assign any number. See? Now suppose if you want the complete name, okay, choose day, October, like that you want the complete name, then you can increase the length here. Okay. So I'll increase to the maximum only. Okay. See. Okay. Also increase here to 36. Okay. So like this. Clear, no? About date, how it is working. Hello?
Yes. Yes, Pavani.
Okay. Shweta, Yojita.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Now coming to the date, okay, we have another date as well. So here we have seen like so many forms to represent the date, right? So along with this, we have one more representation of date, which is called as Julian date. Okay, which is called as Julian date. So what this Julian date means, like how it is represented means, it is represented like say like 1999, okay, 231, okay, or else it can be represented like 231 1999. So it is not that only 231 we have to use, I'll tell you, okay, or else say that 231 99, or else 99 231, okay. So here in this four forms we can represent the Julian date, okay. Now, so these four letters, the first four letters are telling you the year, okay, or the first four values are representing you the year, 1999 year. And coming to this 231, 231 in an year, how many days do we have? 365, right? If it is a leap year, then 366, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
366. If it is a leap year, then 366, right?
Right.
Yeah. So this 231 is nothing but in an year, it is the 231st date. So whatever is the 231 day in an year, that date it will represent. Okay. Suppose say if you have like here 012, okay. So the first four values represent the year, right? And 012 is nothing but 12th day in an year. What is 12th day in an year? It is like January 12th, right?
January 12th.
Yeah,
Yes.
like that. Okay. Here the same. The first three values represent the which day in an year, and the last four values represent the year. Here also same. Okay. These three values represent which day in an year, and here we can write like the four values. Like now 2000, if you want to write, you can write 2000, or last two values also we can write, right? Correct, like 00. If it is 2017, we can write 2017, or we can write like simply 17 also we can write. So like that. Okay. Here this represents the year, and here this is nothing but the which day in an year. This we call as the Julian date. Okay. Now, if our date is represented in Julian form, then what is the Informat statement that we should use means, right here Julian. Okay, whatever is the width, you just write that width. Okay, like Julian 7 dot, okay, or Julian 5 dot, like this you can write. Clear?
Yes.
Now we'll take an example for Julian date. Okay, coming to this Julian date. Okay, the same program, like, but here we have given in the Julian form. Okay, now in Informat statement, what function we have to use? Informat meeting date. I can copy from here. No? Meeting date. So now after meeting date, this is in Julian
Julian.
7 dot form. Yeah, Julian 7 dot format. Right here, Julian 7 dot. Announcement date 2 in Julian 7 dot. Okay. Now, so in format statement, how do you want me to represent? This meeting date and announcement date. In Word date X, Word DATX format.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Word DATX 20 dot. Not only 20, like we can use anything. Word DATX 20. See, these functions are not at all case sensitive. Okay. So nothing is case sensitive except data values, like this observation values. Nothing is case sensitive in SAS. See? Okay. So like this we can represent the dates. Next, moving on to the time function, time values. Okay. So generally we have only two forms to represent
Pavani,
time. Sorry, come again.
one small doubt.
Tell me, Kiran.
This Informat function is useful only when we want to uh, check the difference between two dates, right? Suppose if I want to print only just format of the date, then also we need to use Informat and next format.
No, in that case you can just use like the format.
Format, right?
Like you
I
can,
don't want to calculate the
I mean,
difference between two dates.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like you can consider it as a character value only. If you just want to print, like you don't want to do
Hmm.
any calculations, just want to print. Or else, like suppose
Hmm.
the client want the date to be printed as a character, okay, character value. Then you can simply
Okay.
make use of that format statement. That's it.
Format.
In that
Okay.
case, you
Format is used only to calculate the difference between
don't.
two dates.
So it's like
Oh,
if you want to do any numeric calculation, then
okay.
you use Informat, or else you don't need to use Informat normally. Like you can treat it as a character. If you just want to print, you can just treat it as a character value only.
Okay.
Hmm. Only for printing purpose, there is no point, right? If you want to do any calculations, then only it's the point.
Right.
Yeah. Next, time we can represent only in two forms, right? One is 24-hour format, another one is 12-hour format. When you are representing the date, sorry, time in 12-hour format, we'll have AM, PM. That's it. Okay, time is like so simple. Okay. Okay. Suppose if our time is represented in 24-hour format, okay, then simply write time and give time 8 dot. Okay. If it is represented in 12-hour format, so what is the additional two values that will be added, AM or PM, right? So to this, like increase the width, that's it. Okay. So 8 plus 2, 10. Okay. So time 10 down. That's it. Let us here take an example. Now, so here we have a data set. We are creating a data set called meeting time with variables region, meeting time, and announcement time. Okay. Now, here, in order to convert this non-standard numeric data into standard numeric data, which is nothing but numbers, what is the statement that we have to use? Informat. Okay. Format. For which variables? Meeting time and announcement time, right? So take here meeting time and announcement time. Now, here, in which format the time is present?
Time it dot.
In time 8 dot, right? So just write here time 8 dot. Time 8 dot. Okay. Announcement time also in time 8 dot only, no? So write here time 8 dot. That's it. So it will be converted to a standard numeric value. Okay. Now what this numeric value is? We should know like what this numeric value is, no? Now, here this is the first observation, right? So we'll take the first observation and we'll analyze. Okay. Next. This This 14 hours got converted to 50,400. What is this 50,400? Next, 13 hours got converted to 46,800. Okay. Now, so what is this 50,400 and 46,800? We have a fixed SAS time, which is nothing but midnight. Okay, which is nothing but midnight. So, like 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Okay, that is what midnight is, correct? 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Okay. Now, this 50,400, this is nothing but the number of seconds. Okay, number of seconds between midnight. Okay, number of seconds between midnight to the specified time. What is the specified time here? Number of seconds from midnight, between midnight to, or else number of seconds from midnight to the specified time. Okay. Next, 46,800. This 46,800 is nothing but number of seconds from midnight to the specified time. That is 1300. Okay. That is 13 hours. Now, since it is calculating this number by taking the same reference, if we calculate the difference between these two numbers, we'll get the difference between these two timings in number of seconds. Same concept
Yes.
like date.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how we can calculate. Like same here also we make use of the intick function. Okay. In order to calculate the difference between the two timings in any interval. So I think in time we can calculate only in three intervals, right? One is difference in hours, other one is difference in minutes, and the other one is difference in seconds. Okay. By using the intick function we can calculate. This is about the time. Now no one will understand that number, right? So for our reporting purpose, again we have to restore this numeric value to the time format. Okay. By using what function we can do that? By using the format function. Format. If you want to represent in the same format, you can make use of the same functions, time 8 dot. But if you want to represent in AM PM, okay, then you have to make use of this function, time AM PM 10 dot. Okay. Okay, see, in AM PM format, it got converted. Okay. So like this, we can do the calculations, or we can read the time values in the standard numeric value as a standard numeric value. Okay. Clear with the time, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The next one is date time combination. We can also have both date time combination, right? So here this is date time combination. Okay. For date time combination also it will be the same. Concept will be the same. Okay. But we rarely make use of this date time. But majorly in clinical sector, if they are taking birth dates, it is not that they will be taking only the birth date, right? So they might also take like both date and time. So while taking the birth value, they'll consider both date and time, no? So like this, like majorly in clinical sector, we'll see like both date and time combination. Okay, very rarely we'll see this date and time combination, but still we should know like what this is, no? Okay. So if our date and time is represented like this, okay? Date and time. So write here date time, since it is the combination of date time. So just write date time, okay, and give the total width. Give the total width. Next, suppose if it is like AM PM, just write here date time, and since like two more letters characters got increased, increase the width by two more characters. That's it. Very easy. Okay. Let us take an example here. Okay. So here we are creating a data set called birth date time input with variables ID and birth date time. Okay. So to read this value, okay, to read this value as a standard numeric value, what statement we have to make use of? Informat statement. Informat for which variable? Only birth date time, right? Birth date time. And here in what form the date and time value is present? 1st January 1960 AM PM, which is in this format, right? So then make use of this date time AM, date time 20 dot. Okay. Now we run this program, it will be converted to a number, right? So it is converted to a number. Now what is this number? For 101 it is 60, right? For 101 what is the date?
1 January.
1st January, yeah, 1st January 1960. This one. It got converted to the number 60, right? So what this 60 means? It is the number of seconds, okay? Number of seconds from first, what is this fixed time? 1st January 1960, right? And what is the fixed date? Sorry, fixed date is 1st January 1960. And what is the fixed time? 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, right? This is the fixed time. So it is nothing but the number of seconds from 1st January 1960 midnight to the specified time, okay? Specified date time. So 1st January 1960, 1st January 1960. So there is no, like days are both same, right? So here it is 1 minute after the midnight. Here it is from midnight to 1 minute after the midnight. Number of seconds. How many number of seconds? 60 seconds. So it is nothing but 60 seconds, okay? Similarly, if you look at this value, this is like a so huge value, right? Now, coming to this value, it is also same. What is the second date? This one, right? Okay. Now, so this value is nothing but same number of seconds from 1st January 1960 midnight to the specified date time. What is that? 15th February 2012, 2 hours, 23 minutes, 45 seconds PM. Okay. I mean like in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 23 minutes, 45 seconds. So this is the number of seconds. Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like this we calculate the date time. Okay. So in order to convert again back this to date time, you can make use of the format statement. Okay. Format, birth, date, time. Okay. So if you want to again put back in the same, restore into the same form like AM, PM format, then what you have to do is which statement, which function you have to use? Date, AM, PM 20 dot. Okay. Not date time. Here you should not write time. Because here we want this AM PM to be displayed after the value, right? So because of that, instead of time, you have to write AM PM. Okay, AM PM 20 dot. So these all are like the syntax only. We have to remember that these all are like syntax functions, inbuilt functions. Okay, so we have to remember. Now the next one is coming to the amount functions. Okay, so currency. Currency generally how can we represent? Like how many ways to represent as I shown you earlier, like one is with comma and the other one is with dollar and the other one is like both dollar and comma. That's it. Okay. So here take an example for currency or amount, whatever it is. Okay. So in this, if you see this value, okay, it has only comma, right? So in that case, you can make use of the Informat function as the comma, okay, comma, and this 9 is nothing but the total width including the commas, okay. If you want again the value also in the same original format, like in the same format, you can make use of the same function comma 9 dot. Now, so here, if you have in a value only dollar or only dollar or both dollar and comma, then use dollar. Okay, give priority to dollar. If you give priority to dollar, it will consider both comma and dollar. But if you write only comma, it will consider only comma. Okay, but if you write dollar, it will consider both dollar and comma. Now, so here since we have both dollar and comma, you write dollar, okay, and the total width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, total width is 6 dollars. Okay, and also in currency we also might have the decimals, right? We'll discuss that in the next program. First, we'll take this. Okay, so here, see here we have comma, right? So what is the informat function that we have to use? Only comma. Informat. So which variable? Salary. Okay, salary, comma 3 with 1, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, comma 6. Okay, see. Now, suppose if you want to represent in comma format or if you want to represent in dollar format, you can represent. Okay, so write here format salary, write here dollar 6 dot. If you give dollar 6 dot instead of comma, you will get like in the beginning dollar. Okay, but the total width will remain same. Okay, total width will remain 6. So since here you have written dollar, first will give priority to dollar, and then if there is any extra width, then it will give priority to comma. Okay. See, dollar 20,000, dollar 25,000. Okay. So if you want to include both comma and dollar, then increase the width by 1. Okay, $7. Done the program. Okay. So this is nothing but the total width of the value. Now with decimal, okay, with decimal, it is the same but with minor change. Okay, so if you have only comma, you write only comma. If you have only dollar, you write like only dollar, or if you have both dollar and comma in the value, you write dollar. Okay, but coming to the width declaration, so you declare this 9 is nothing but the total width. Okay, this 9 is nothing but the total width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and dot point after decimal, how many values are there? Declare that width. Okay, after dot, how many values do we have? 1, 2, 3. 3 values, right? So declare 3. Okay. So this 9 is nothing but the total width, and 0.3 is nothing but after decimals, how many values you have. So here also same. This 11 is nothing but the total width. Okay, including commas, dollars, decimals, everything. 11 is nothing but the total width. And after dot, this 4 is nothing but after decimal, how many values are there? That count. Okay. Here let us take an example. Okay. Now, so here input salary. Now in format. Okay. Now, so in order to convert it into a pure numeric, how to convert? In format, which variable? Salary, right? So in format salary. Okay. So what function here we have to use? Both dollar and comma, right? We have to make use of dollar. Total width is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11.3. Okay. Okay. So like this. Now if you want to convert only to comma or only to dollar, whatever according to that you can make use of this comma or dollar function. Okay. Clear about currency?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so here we have a shortcut for writing the Informat statement. Okay. What is that shortcut means? You can write for any Informat statement, that is. So rather than writing another Informat statement, what you can do, like in the input statement only, after the variable name, okay, put colon and declare the Informat function. Okay, this is like the shortcut. In the input statement only, you put after the variable name, you put colon and declare the format function. For format, there is no shortcut. You have to write the format statement. Okay. But for Informat, this is the shortcut. It will read in the same manner. There will be no difference. Why? Did we write the variable names wrong? Oh, great. Okay. Okay. We'll read it the same. You can write either way. It is not necessary that you should not, like whatever is up to your comfort, you can do that. Okay. If writing Informat statement is comfortable to you, write Informat statement. If this is comfortable, clear, no?
Yes.
Okay. So this is about date, time, and amount. Or else reading the non-standard data into the standard data. Okay.